AI is unleashing the power of blockchain-based machine learning artificial intelligence. In other words, it's seeking to bridge the cutting edge of technological innovation with the products and services that we use every day. And with me is the CEO, Humayun Sheikh. Welcome to New York. Welcome to the NASDAQ.
It's a pleasure to be out here and finally see you personally.
I know, we've talked on Zoom so many times. Let's start with the crypto market. It's been very interesting over the past year. What do you think about the crypto market right now?
I think we're finally seeing some good momentum. We're finally seeing some good adoption. I think there is a lot of acceptance coming from everywhere, institutions included. So we have more proponents now than we've ever had. And the price has been reflecting that in terms of Bitcoin, what Bitcoin has been doing with a huge amount of inflation. I think, as we've all seen, it could be a good bet against inflation. So.
It's really interesting to watch the price because it will, there'll be a China regulation thrown at it, and it'll drop, and then it comes right back up.
Straight back. Yeah.
And then something else, and then it'll drop and comes right back up. So it keeps wanting to rise.
Because I think people are seeing the potential that it could bring, and I think that's quite that is very important, because otherwise, if it's just a currency which exists, do nothing. And it's the whole space. It's not just BTC. It's obviously the whole adoption of decentralization, digital currency, many other projects which are coming online. So it's a good time to be in crypto. It's very exciting.
Yeah. So that's a perfect intro to my next question about your thoughts on Web3, the Metaverse, DeFi. I mean, that all fits together, right?
Yes. I think there is a lot of hype. There is a lot of things which people say which are not true sometimes, but underneath it all, it's real, and we do see a lot of kind of utility for it. We expect to see a lot more adoption for it, and if I take all the things that you said, if I take them just separately and I just say, for example, Web 2, Web 1 gave us e-commerce. We saw big, huge companies which are kind of the top companies in the world these days. What we're now going to see is the next adoption, Web 3.0, Web 4.0 even, because at the moment Web 3.0 is just enabling you to connect some wallets, make some decentralizations, but that's not going to be what really kicks it off. We need a lot more development coming, and that's on its way.
Yes. So where does Fetch.AI fit into this new technological world?
So we're building. I mean, if you look at what's been happening in the past, when a new technology comes in, you see a lot of hype. Then you see some real companies which produce some real tools which enable the businesses. So Web3 is going to have the same thing. At the moment, mostly Web3 is about finance, financial instruments, DeFi, but ultimately what would happen is that real traditional businesses will start adopting Web3. And that's the process of digitization that will change the game, because that will change the whole model in the way businesses work. And what Fetch is doing is building the tools which enables you to do that. And in those tools, machine learning and AI is a very critical tool. So unless you're able to bring Web 3 and combine that with machine learning and AI, you will not really realize the full potential of the scale that is coming. And you have to enable personal enterprise, because that's where we're heading. We're trying not to see too many big corporates come through. We're seeing Web3 model is going to change that. So all the tools that you require, we are looking to build, and we are building, and we're launching several of those tools now.
Yeah, there's so much going on, and it's kind of hard to get your head around it.
Sure.
How we're going to be living in a generation or so. What are the opportunities that you are most excited about?
So, as I was saying, at the moment, what you have is this financial products, right? Although they are very important and they make a lot of money, they are very useful, being able to transfer money across, that's great. But what are you transferring the money across for? The real business which is behind it. So how does it affect you and me as a person? Till we bring that on board, the whole scale of this Web3 decentralization, digital currency, will not be fully exploited. So what I'm more excited about than anything else is bringing those real businesses and onboarding them onto Web3 and utilizing the capabilities of data, utilizing the capability of machine learning and AI tools to actually enable individuals. And that's really, for me, that's the key.
Okay, and then, I mean, I've been hearing some people lately, especially since Facebook announced, Meta, the name change, that they're like kind of scared of this, like, oh, I'll live here on Earth, and I don't think they totally understand how it's going to look. I mean, how can people prepare? Should they be nervous about where we're headed technologically?
Not, in my opinion, definitely not. I think this is going to be an exciting time, and we're going to do some exciting stuff, and everybody will be inclusive. Now, when we say metaverse, the metaverse doesn't have to be a single metaverse. It could be a multiverse, where corporates can do the same, individuals can do, and everybody can participate and come together. The whole spirit of decentralization is to enable everybody. It doesn't matter if they're corporate or individual. And giving them the similar tools so that anybody and everybody can actually participate in it. So there's no need to be scared, I think, but I would say that people need to be open-minded and start adopting this new technology, because that is the future.
Well, and it certainly seems like it will allow you to do some things that we can't do now, like meetings in the metaverse with kind of avatars of people, and you're actually talking to each other that, we really only get on Zoom now, but you're actually, so there's some interesting things happening there. So what's the roadmap for Fetch?
Fetch is looking over the next 12 to 18 months very much to bring out all these tools which will enable these different business models. So for example, a decentralized delivery network, for example, trying to enable service platforms and individuals to offer services, the search and discovery of these services. Because if you look at what is happening in this decentralized space, we're talking about all the very hyped up bits, but there are things like, how do you find somebody? How do you find who you're going to do or transact with? That key search and discovery element, which is in effect the Google of this new Web 3.0. So we are building tools for that, and that's what we're going to be launching over the next 12 to 18 months.
Okay, and how could a company or an individual get involved in this?
It's very easy. I mean, we have the website you can go and learn a bit more about. We're launching multiple products which are coming to the market over the next 3 to 6 months. You could engage by just getting used to digital currencies. I mean, you could go on Coinbase. You could just play with it. You can try and understand what's happening. And I think there is so for example, on Coinbase we have some lessons. So you can learn a bit more about Fetch. You can learn a bit more about other currencies, not just Fetch, because it's a whole ecosystem. So you could do all of that now, and it's available right now.
Yeah. All right. Always fascinating stuff, Humayun. Great to see you.
It's a pleasure to see you, and thank you for all the time.
Thanks.